Hey, what's going on? NearFear here with another Trackside Analysis featuring the track on the 4th round of the 2015 Muscle Car Championship, Templar 2 Grand Prix. So, let's get right into it. I'm just gonna load this up here. Now, I want to apologize for making this video so late, right a few hours before the day of the championship. It's currently 7 over here in the eastern part of the states, and it starts at about the same time tomorrow. So in about 12 hours will be the 4th round of the Templar 2 Grand Prix. Pretty excited for it, but main reason that the delay took so long was I had a few driver interviews that I need to finish up and get published this week for you guys to see. And I also had some Gran Turismo practice to do, along with having this game on PC, so I made an executive decision that it would probably look better if I did it on PC at 60 frames and 1080p, so that is a lovely thought. But we're going to go ahead and move to the first corner of the track, and this is one of the fastest corners right here. It's very smooth. You can take a very wide approach leading up to it. There's not much on the apex of the corner. Depending on how you clip it, there's not much for you to hit. And you can carry tremendous exit speed out of it. So this corner is probably where you're going to be on the ragged edge the most at the beginning of the lap. And then coming to the second corner, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to, but there are a few bumps on the very inside, as well as the track dipping right about here. So for turn 2, you kind of want to bleed off just a little bit of speed just so your car can stabilize itself a little bit to turn in, and you just carry that momentum on down this somewhat short straightaway. But the best tip I can give for this corner is at best you don't want to carry too much speed because you just lose too much on the exit. So, continuing on, we're going to come to turn 3, which is checkpoint 7 for you guys, and there's not much to say about this corner other than you don't want to take too much exit curb, or else you can hit this barrier and completely damage your car quite a lot. You don't want to take too much of this sand or curb on approach, because you can also hit this curb right here, so beware of this little barrier. This is called a curb. And on the way over here, you kind of just want to make your basic left hand turn. There's not much to this. However, quick side note, you'll know if you carry either the right amount or too much speed if you end up going over the sidewalk and kind of just barely almost hitting this building right here, this bite building. But continuing down this small section, taking a left here is relatively easy in the dry. It becomes slightly difficult in the rain because the amount of grip that you have, because there's not really much camber to aid you, isn't all that high. There is a little bit of camber on this corner, but not a lot. So if you carry too much speed in the rain, you do end up way on the sidewalk or over here. Or you could end up, even if you do get the car adjusted, you could end up with loads of oversteer on this side and not a stable enough car to brake effectively right here. And it's not like you'll run off. If you manage to save it and keep it on the side of the road, you'll just lose more time than you needed to. So this complex of corners is probably going to be one of the more difficult just because of how it's set up. You kind of have to come from this side and bring it over to this side, or you can try and keep this side and then just focus on the exit out of 11. But it's not going to be as influential as it was on the first Templar circuit, where this corner held most of your speed throughout the lap. Now when we leave this corner, we're going to go straight back up the hill. So it's not as much drama getting that corner right. So you want to come straight up this hill, make sure you hit the kink correctly, because these cars are a little bit less responsive than you want them to, so it takes quite a bit to keep them on the right side of the track. and then you want to make sure you can get your car turned in for 15. If you miss the apex, you'll end up way out here, which can lose you some time. But if you get it just right, you'll end up right at this curbing. You can just keep it straight, and you can bring it straight back over here for the next corner, right near checkpoint 17. And there's not much I have to say about this corner because this is the revised version of the track. The original version of the Templar GP2 would have you go through this hairpin right here, but the main problem with that was that it was too small. There was barely any room for you to get your car through, and even if I made more room, you'd be knocking barriers over and it'd be quite a mess. So we've decided to just carry all of that speed from 15 all the way down to this checkpoint 17. Now, why did I say you shouldn't run wide here? Well, you'll have to rejoin before this little post right here, or else you'll be trying to force kind of a direction change right here, which can't be ideal because you'll be on the right side of the track and you need to be on the left for this corner. And then you kind of want to bring it around and straight line it through this section and bring as much speed as you can. And then coming through this corner, you want to have maintenance throttle. Now you may be asking, what is maintenance throttle? You want to have probably 10-20% throttle here, maybe 50. Really how much ever throttle you need to keep the car stable through this corner. And if you try and brake really late, you'll crash into this barrier. And if you don't carry any maintenance throttle at all, you'll oversteer to the right. So you might hit this pole, or you might just be stuck in the middle of the track. So just a fair warning to anyone coming into this corner, you want to have some type of throttle application here just to keep your car stable, because there are a tremendous amount of bumps and just unstable road surfaces in this corner, which is kind of why I like this corner. It's a very tricky corner to get right. But as we leave the exit here, you're going to want to stay within this kind of limit. I know you're carrying a lot of speed from the exit of this corner coming to this corner, but you got to drop all of it right here. Because if you carry too much, you're going to hit one of these two barriers, and that can severely damage your car. But you still want to carry enough speed to get through checkpoint 23 and carry it along this back straight, which is relatively long. Not as long as the original back straight, but still quite long. And then at the end of this back straight, you want to brake at this checkpoint or slightly past this checkpoint, not much more than this, because then you just end up understeering into this wall area or this tree. But you want to brake right about there and take the right-hand curb. You might want to clip this a little bit. Most likely in the rain, you want to clip this as well, so you can carry a little bit more speed on the exit into this corner. And you want to carry that momentum onto the final part of this corner. Now, the main reason I've revised this section for those who happen to be with me when we had the first iteration of this track is because people kept getting very, very confused on how pit entrance exit in this section works. So I simplified it down. So now pit entrance is the same. However, the barriers to pit entrance to warn you that pit entrance is coming up are a lot more pronounced, and they come over this side of the track, so you can't use it quite as much, and if you do use it, you're not going all that fast. And you just exit onto the straight, getting as much speed carried as possible, and you just go straight down the main street, which is significantly larger than the first main street that I implemented, and that finishes your lap here at the Templar 2 GP circuit. Now, a few things that we've done to the pit lane, because we've moved it from the front straight to the entrance. We moved it from the middle of the front straight to the entrance of the front straight, and the first reason was because we needed to be able to fit multiple cars in the pit lane at once. When I made the first circuit, I didn't realize it till later, but there's not much of a way to put more than one or two cars. Not even two. There's not really much of a way to put more than one car in at the time. And the car behind you, if he decides to pit at about the same lap or about the same time, it's going to have a heck of a time trying to brake in time in order not to hit you because you're entering it quite quickly. And it could cause some other problems in the front stretch. So we moved it at the beginning of the front stretch with a slightly safer rejoin. You rejoin about here on the sidewalk. And you basically want to enter through here and you take a left and you burst through this barrier and you take another left and then a right around, you follow the wrenches, and then you enter the front stretch. So that's the main implementation of this new pit lane, and it's a lot more safe than the first one with all of the benches and barriers in here that made it very difficult to go through, and you're losing enough time that makes the pit lane viable as a way to deter people from damaging their cars or roughhousing a little too much. So that's what I have so far on this circuit. I'm sorry there's a little bit of a lack of information because the layout did get changed a little bit last minute, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Anyway, please be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe if you want more videos like this in the future, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Later.